Now this is the motor and the blower apparatus that we're going to hook on there next. It's on wheels, so you roll it out there and then you got to lift it onto the frame. Again, this motor is very expensive. It's a 5 horsepower Tecumseh. You check the oil here just like you did on the lawnmower. You make sure it's up to the full mark. This is where you put the gas. This is the throttle. Stop, go is up. You simply move it up and then start the motor. Alright, these are what hold the motor on. Take them off first. You don't want to lose these things. Take these off. Once you get the motor up here, then you put these back on and it'll hold the motor down. I always have this problem. You gotta move this metal bracket. In order to get this one off, I sometimes take off the black knob. It gives it more room. And then you just take it off. Once it's off, you just keep the knob and net together. Make sure you tighten this down, otherwise the knob will shake right off and you'll lose it. There's 2 handles on here. It's not real light, but you got a handle here and there's one on the other side. You got to lift it and put it on this bracket. Line up the holes where you took the knobs off. Once those are aligned, you're set. You put the knobs back in, holding the motor down. Do the same on the other side. So once this motor is mounted on here, you tighten those little knobs down. You can see one of them's right there and the other one's right there. You make sure those are tight. This thing hooks on here using these little clips, which you can see. It's hard to film with do anything with one hand, so I have to put the camera down. You just clip these on and do the same thing on the other side. Alright, this is the part where you hook up this hose. This isn't easy, so I usually take this little green cord that came off of that holds that together, just to hold this up for now. Take this and you got to line it up on the mower deck. And there's 2 bungee cords. One in the front, hooks in this little hole here. And then there's another hole in the back. And then you hook the bungee cord through that hole. That holds this thing on here on the mower deck. And I'll give you a closer look. You can see the bungee cord on the front. There's a hole right here and it hooks on. Then it comes around in the back. There's another bungee cord here and that hooks in a hole right here, if you can see that. Once this thing is on, you then hook it to here. Bring this around. Again, there's clips. Get those ready. They hook in the 2 sides. Put this in there. Get the clips on there. Snap them down. Once those are snapped down, you're almost good. Notice I have a piece of string attached. This is to give this some support because it just hangs out here. So I usually support it by tying it off up on this thing up here. That way it's got some support and it won't fall off or get pulled off very easily. So I got this supported here. Make sure this thing is lined up on here good. On the mower deck. And you got your support and you should be ready to mow. Make sure the deck is up high enough. I got it on 5 so that the leaves don't just get pushed away, they get sucked underneath. Now once you're to this point, basically you got everything hooked up. What you got to do is start your lawnmower, then start your leaf blower. You can actually idle this down while you maneuver this leaf blower into position, and then before you go, you put the throttle all the way up. This is the throttle to the big rabbit here. That's fast. And that thing really races, really goes, this motor, sucking those leaves into this bin. And then you start your blades, and the blades pull the leaves off the ground and put them into this tube. It sucks them into the turbine. The turbine kicks them up into the bin. Then you just have to keep an eye on your bin. Make sure it doesn't get too full before you go dump. Before you begin, to make sure you have eye protection. Very important. And I wear ear protection because when both of these motors are going, especially this one in the back, it's very high RPM, very powerful. It's very loud. It has a loud screeching sound to it because of the turbine inside. Very hard on the ears over a long period of time. So I wear ear protection so I don't hurt my hearing over a long period of time. Now there is no primer bulb on this motor, but there is a choke. The choke is located here. This is choke off, and this is choke on. There's a little piece of metal that's shaped like an arrow. When you're cold starting, it's a good idea to choke on. Once it starts, you turn the choke off. Make sure the choke is off after it gets going. Once it's warm, you don't need to choke it anymore. You want to make sure the throttle, which is this red little handle here, not in the stop position is down, the fast position is up. When you're first starting it, turn it to the fast position. Once it starts, you can throttle it down until you're ready to suck leaves. Then you move it to the fast position. Alright, I'm going to see if I can start this thing. I haven't started it yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I turned the choke off a little too soon. We'll try it again. Alright, once that motor is started and warmed up, it'll start every time on the first pull. You want to get your tractor going. I already checked the oil. I made sure that everything was A-OK. This is the throttle right here. Move the throttle up to the first notch make sure that you're sitting on the seat. Nothing happens. This is a safety switch in the seat. You got to be on the seat. This here is the clutch. You push it in and control the throttle and see if it starts up. Alright, once these motors are warmed up, I shut them off, but you don't have to shut them off. I shut them off so I can talk on this film. The procedure that follows is, you start your leaf blower, you idle it down because you don't need it yet, you start your mower, you back this thing down. Once you get going, you go forward, you turn on the blades at a normal mower clip, in a normal fashion on the first notch at the throttle. Once that's going, you throttle up your leaf blower, or you could throttle up your leaf blower anytime. You could have it at full throttle the whole time. Doesn't matter. You throttle it up, that's sucking air. Then once you start the blades on the mower, it's going to blow leaves into the back. All you got to do is make sure it doesn't get too full. Once it gets too full, it'll back up into the tube, and it's very hard to get all the leaves out of the tube. So you want to make sure you stop before it's full. Back it up to the lake, and this thing all unhooks, and this thing lifts up and dumps like a dump truck. I'll show you that. Once you've filled up the bin with leaves, make sure you shut your motors off. You unhook the two clips on the top here, and it comes right off. Don't leave this running. If you do, this stuff flies right out and hits you right in the face and knocks your eye out. Wear eye protection. Then you come back here, just unclip all of your flaps. Pull it back. Nice Velcro holds them open. Velcro holds them open. More clips here. Again, let it go down. Pull it up. Velcro will hold it up. It's hard to do with one hand. Pull that up. There's the Velcro right there. And you can see the leaves in here. It's pretty full. You don't want it all the way full. And the great thing about this is then you just lift it and it dumps like a dump truck. And there's your leaves. Scrape them all out. Well, this is the way it looks, all cleaned up. Still got to do the other side. But you can see it's much better. And now the front is done. It's almost all gone. Just a few leaves left, but I can't do everything, right?